In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NFL games happening on November 10, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NFL games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. New York Jets versus Arizona Cardinals. On Sunday afternoon, the Arizona Cardinals will host the New York Jets in what promises to be an intriguing matchup at State Farm Stadium. The Jets, who are seen as a potential contender in the American Football Conference East during the preseason, have struggled to meet expectations with a current record of 3-6. Despite their setbacks, they still have a considerable amount of ground to cover if they are to turn things around this season. Meanwhile, the Arizona Cardinals find themselves in a more favorable position with a 5-4 record, which currently places them in first place in the National Football Conference West. However, with the standings in the division being so closely contested, the Cardinals cannot afford to take any week lightly. The last time these two teams faced off was in 2020, when the Cardinals emerged victorious with a 30-10 win. The New York Jets are coming off a much-needed victory on Thursday Night Football against the Houston Texans, but the real question remains whether they can build on that momentum. Their performance against the Texans, while a step in the right direction, may not have been as impressive as some might believe. The Jets had a strong showing, but that might have been more a reflection of Houston's struggles and injuries than any true dominance by New York. In contrast, the Arizona Cardinals have suddenly emerged as a team to watch in the National Football Conference West, looking like a legitimate contender. Arizona dominated the Chicago Bears last week with a 29-9 victory, and there's little reason to expect them to slow down this weekend. While the Jets may have secured a win over the Texans, it's hard to ignore the fact that they struggled to gain even 300 total yards of offense and were outgained by Houston in that contest. That win felt significant largely due to the Jets' 5-game losing streak before it, but it was far from an exceptional performance. The Jets have also struggled throughout the season, especially after firing head coach Robert Sale, and the addition of Davante Adams has done little to change the team's fortunes. In fact, Adams' presence may have only served to make quarterback Aaron Rodgers feel more comfortable with a familiar face on the field. Prior to the Texans game, the Jets had only won twice this season, and both victories came against the Tennessee Titans and New England Patriots, two teams that have been among the worst in the league this year. The Jets' road performances have also been underwhelming. In their last 2 away games, they suffered a humiliating loss to the Patriots, a team they were favored to beat, and were blown out by 22 points in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. On the other hand, the Arizona Cardinals have been on an impressive run, winning 4 of their last 5 games. This streak includes a particularly notable road victory over the San Francisco 49ers, one of the top teams in the National Football Conference. Arizona's head coach, Jonathan Gannon, has been instrumental in turning this franchise around, and the team is benefiting from a full season of healthy quarterback Kyler Murray. The Cardinals' only recent loss came in a tough road game against the Green Bay Packers. Given their strong form, the Arizona Cardinals to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. While the Jets have proven they can win low-scoring games, they seem to be comfortable in that style of play. Even though Aaron Rodgers had a solid performance in their most recent game, the Jets only managed to put up 21 points, which happens to be their highest point total of the season. Arizona, on the other hand, has gone under the total in 2 of their last 3 games, and they've demonstrated in recent weeks that they are also capable of winning in low-scoring contests. With a strong running game that features a trio of running backs and a mobile quarterback in Kyler Murray, the Cardinals are likely to control the clock and keep the game moving at a slow pace. The Jets, who also have a powerful running game led by Breece Hall and the addition of Adams in the passing game, will likely try to do the same. Given the style of play both teams prefer, under the projected total is our full game total LP pick. Philadelphia Eagles versus Dallas Cowboys. The Philadelphia Eagles, currently sporting a 6-2 record, have bounced back strongly after a sluggish start to the season. Their resurgence has been impressive, and it's evident that they are operating at their peak. With a roster brimming with talent, it's easy to see why the Eagles are considered serious contenders for the Super Bowl in the 2024-2025 season. On Sunday, they will face off against their fierce division rival, the Dallas Cowboys, who sit at 3-5 for the season. Dallas has struggled to find any consistency, and with a challenging stretch of games ahead, this matchup is a crucial must-win for the Cowboys, especially given that it's being played at their home stadium. The Dallas Cowboys will face an uphill battle in terms of scoring points when they host the Philadelphia Eagles this Sunday. The Cowboys will be starting Cooper Rush at quarterback, a player who has only managed to throw for a total of 167 yards this season. To make matters worse, their star wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, is listed as questionable for the game. Additionally, Dallas has one of the worst running games in the league, averaging only 82 yards per game, ranking near the bottom in the NFL. Without Dak Prescott, the Cowboys' offense has been nearly non-existent, averaging just 254.1 yards passing per game, which is second to last in the league. Cooper Rush is unlikely to significantly improve these numbers. Meanwhile, the Eagles' offense will likely dominate the ground game, as they average 174.8 rushing yards per game, ranking second in the NFL. On the other hand, Dallas' defense struggles against the run, allowing an average of 147.8 yards per game, placing them 30th in that category. Expect Philadelphia's running back, Saquon Barkley, to have a standout performance, possibly racking up over 150 rushing yards in this matchup. When the Cowboys and Eagles meet, no matter their respective records or performance levels, the game is always intense and brings out a strong competitive spirit in both teams. In the past 10 meetings, Dallas holds a slight 6-4 advantage over Philadelphia, including a split of their 2 games last season. However, this year, the Cowboys are struggling at home, with a 0-3 record so far, and now they face an Eagles team that ranks among the top 10 in virtually every defensive category. After having difficulty moving the ball against Atlanta in their last game, the Cowboys are likely to face similar struggles against the Eagles. This matchup could potentially make Dallas' season even more dismal, with Philadelphia poised to deliver a decisive victory. Starting Cooper Rush at quarterback may prove to be a critical error, as the Cowboys could benefit more from giving Trey Lance a chance to prove his potential as a future starter. So the Philadelphia Eagles to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Until Dak Prescott returns from his hamstring injury, the Cowboys' offense remains a unit that bettors should avoid. Cooper Rush, while capable, is unlikely to effectively replace Prescott, especially against an Eagles defense that has quietly been playing some of its best football in recent weeks. Meanwhile, the Cowboys' defense has struggled all season with one major issue: stopping the run. Given this vulnerability, Philadelphia's offensive coordinator Kellen Moore will likely emphasize a ground-heavy game plan on Sunday. This will be especially crucial as star wide receiver A.J. Brown is reportedly dealing with a knee injury and may miss the game. Without Brown on the field, the Eagles' offense has looked noticeably different, averaging just over 17 points per game in the 3 contests where he has been sidelined. Dallas' offense will have a tough time generating any meaningful yardage, particularly without a solid running game and with Rush at quarterback. Expect the Cowboys to go 3 and out multiple times as their offense struggles to move the ball. Meanwhile, the Eagles should be able to advance the ball consistently, though it seems unlikely they will score enough to surpass 40 points, which would be needed to push the total over. Even with a lower projected total, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Lions versus Houston Texans. As Week 10 of the NFL season arrives, fans are in for an exciting weekend of football action. One of the most anticipated matchups of the week is the showdown between the Detroit Lions and the Houston Texans. With the Lions holding a strong 7-1 record and the Texans sitting at 6-3, this game promises to be a thrilling contest. As we look ahead to Sunday Night Football, the stage is set for a hard-fought battle between 2 of the league's top teams. In 2024, betting against the Detroit Lions seems like a risky proposition. Under head coach Dan Campbell, the Lions have developed into one of the most dominant teams in the NFL. Their performance in recent weeks has only further solidified their reputation as one of the league's elite squads. Last week's victory over the Green Bay Packers, in particular, only added to that perception. In the past, Detroit had struggled against Green Bay, especially in their Thanksgiving Day matchup last season when quarterback Jordan Love exposed their defense in front of a national audience. However, in Week 9, Detroit showed a completely different level of play. Despite playing in challenging conditions, rain and poor weather, against a Packers team that had thrived in similar environments this season, the Lions came out on top with an impressive victory. Detroit's toughness, discipline, and motivation were on full display, and they dominated their rival on their own turf. It was a standout performance that showcased the Lions' growth as a team, especially against a Packers squad known for being consistent and dangerous. On the flip side, the Houston Texans entered this game with a very different narrative surrounding them. Despite sitting atop the American Football Conference South with a comfortable lead, the Texans are coming off a tough loss to the New York Jets. This was the second consecutive year in which their star quarterback, C.J. Stroud, was sacked repeatedly in a matchup against the Jets, which ultimately led to a defeat. Over the past few weeks, Houston's biggest challenge has been their offensive line, which has struggled to protect Stroud. Last Thursday, the Texans' offensive line allowed Stroud to be sacked an astonishing 8 times, and the young quarterback has been under constant pressure all season, having been hit 41 times, the most of any quarterback in the league. Despite these struggles, Houston remains 6-3 and has had some time to regroup, thanks to a 10-day break before this game. With a favorable schedule ahead, the Texans will look to address their offensive line issues and get back on track. Despite the Lions' exceptional play this season, Week 10 presents a prime opportunity for the Texans to capitalize. Houston has had a grueling road schedule, playing 3 of their last 4 games away from home. But now they return to Texas for the remainder of November. With plenty of time to prepare for this matchup, the Texans have been working diligently to improve their offensive line. They've even brought in former Dallas Cowboys guard La'el Collins for a workout to help shore up their protection. The absence of Detroit's star edge rusher Aiden Hutchinson due to injury could provide a break for Houston's offensive line, which has struggled at times this season. Even though the Lions have been fantastic overall, there's a possibility they could be due for a letdown following a highly emotional victory. On top of that, the Texans are at home, hungry for a bounce-back performance, and with the spread set at over 3 points, the key number in NFL betting, the Houston Texans to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Defensively, both teams have been strong throughout the season. Detroit has been one of the most impressive defensive units in the league, allowing just 18.5 points per game, which is among the fewest in the NFL. Over the past month, they have been even more dominant, giving up 14 points or fewer in 3 of their last 4 games. Houston, too, has played solid defense, holding opponents to between 20 and 22 points in each of their last 6 contests. While the Lions' offense is potent enough to potentially break that streak, the Texans' defensive consistency and the recent struggles of their offense, particularly Stroud's performance in the past couple of weeks, make it unlikely that Houston will be able to make a significant dent in the Lions' defense. Offensively, the Lions will likely lean on their running game to control the clock and limit the pressure on quarterback Jared Goff. Given that the Texans' defense is ranked 3rd in the league in passing yards allowed, with only 167.4 passing yards surrendered per game, Detroit will likely look to exploit Houston's run defense instead. The Texans are allowing 114.2 rushing yards per game, which ranks 12th in the league, and 4.7 yards per carry, which is 24th. While the Texans' defense has been solid overall, they have been vulnerable to the run, and the Lions will likely take advantage of this weakness to establish a ground game and keep the ball out of Stroud's hands. With both teams playing solid defense and the Texans struggling to put up points in recent weeks, it's reasonable to expect a lower scoring game. Only one of the Texans' previous 8 games has seen more than 46 points on the scoreboard, and with the defensive strengths of both teams on display, the total for this game is likely to fall short of the projected number. Therefore, as both teams are expected to prioritize controlling the game through their defenses and ground games, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.